Okay, football guys talking baseball. First things first, Ted. We got to get you some of those pants that Kyler Murray was rocking the other night. You would look good in those, man. We got to get you some. We got to track them down.
I think only Heisman Trophy winners can pull stuff off like that because he had the pajama pants on. I've seen Billy Sims wear the OU sport coat. I don't think if you don't have a Heisman Trophy, you can't pull off something that OU. But
That
he pulled it
is
off.
that is fair. However, you're up there when it comes to like guys that could be considered Mr. OU.
Well,
A
I'll
lot of
try it.
OU.
I'll try the pants. We'll see what happens.
Someone send Ted a pair of those pants. But I will say it was as far as Kyler showing up to that A&M game. I'm sure it had nothing to do with them playing Texas A&M, but it was pretty cool for everyone involved, right? Kyler kind of getting to live vicariously through those players because he never made it to Omaha, getting to talk to the team, and then those players getting to have, one of the star players in the NFL talk to him. Like, it's pretty cool for everyone involved. And clearly what Kyler told him worked because they beat the hell out of A&M.
And he's been way more involved with the baseball program than I knew. I know that obviously he's going to have his unveiling at some point, and Toby said that he has been very clear about the statue unveiling for him, that he wants the baseball team and program to be a big part of that. So it's going to have to coincide with their schedule and everything. So yeah, I think he comes and hangs around every time he's in town. He goes down there and hangs around with the baseball program and Skip Johnson and those guys. And it's important to him, and that's awesome because they need that type of name right now, and that type of name recognition for recruiting and everything else involved is huge. And I thought it was great that he was there. I thought he did awesome in his interview. It was fantastic.
Yeah, and we heading into the Men's College World Series, we talked about how important it was to win game one, and OU smacks A&M 13-8 in that opening game, and they came out hot. I mean, scored in, what was it, 7 runs with 2 outs in that second inning, and end up jumping out 8-0. And I mean, that starter for A&M, he didn't even last 2 innings, man.
It's crazy. And, the lead up to the game, we talked to Toby, and he was telling us about how this team operates offensively. It's kind of small ball, and they walk a lot. They get hit by pitch a lot. They make these pitchers have, go through these really long at bats over and over and over. And that's exactly how that one played out. I think the first hitter of the game was a walk against A&M, and Spikerman's great at that. And it's a fun group to watch, man. They're very methodical, and the bats have continued to be hot for them. They run the bases really well, still a lot of bases. They're going to be tough to contend with, man.
Yeah, and in that A&M game, that Jimmy Crooks 3-run homer was sweet, but the Nicholas grand slam in the 4th, this is true. I was in Maui watching the game, and Nicholas launches that grand salami, and my wife and we went straight to the golf course. We were like, we're going to play. I was like, this game is over. It is over. Now, I was watching the rest of the game on my phone at the golf course, but yeah, it was one of those where it was nice because I was like, that'll do it. Thanks, Jackson Nicholas. Appreciate ya.
Yeah, it felt good. They got up to that big lead, and then A&M tried to make a little bit of a run there, and got some runs back and made it a little too close. And it's nice to be able to cruise to some nice victories, and not have to stretch it and use a ton of pitching and just battle your tail off. Hopefully they can keep that rolling. That was a great game 1 win for them.
Yeah. And, Jake Bennett was really good early, ends up giving up some runs, but as far as pitching a lot of innings, throwing a lot of pitches. Like I thought he did, when the bats were as hot as they were, and right, I think they drew, what was it, like 10 walks or something like that in that game. He did exactly what he needed to do. And then, yeah, things maybe, got a little tighter than maybe Skip Johnson wanted to there towards the end, but brings Trevin Michael in and says, all right, game over. See you guys.
Yeah, it was nice. I got a little worried whenever Kendall Pettis took that 95, 97 mile an hour fastball directly to the chest. I didn't like seeing that whenever he squared around to bunt. I was worried about that. We had already had a guy break his hand and be out from getting hit by a pitch. So I guess it wasn't perfect smooth sailing, but you got out of there with a nice victory. And the team, what you don't want is to take away the mojo they've got right now, as they remain hot and the team's playing with more confidence than anyone in the country, it looks like.
Yeah, I guess the only negative from that game really is what Squires breaks the hand. Ouch.
Yep. Brutal. Took that ball right on the hand. When he took his glove off, his hand was shaking, and you could tell something was going on there. So, yeah, it was bad.
So, some people may have listened to that and wonder why did they start with the A&M game, and why didn't they start talking about the Notre Dame game? We are rolling the dice, people. It's 9:30 Central Time. It's approaching our bedtime. Especially, I'm jet lagged as hell. Like, I don't expect anyone to feel bad for me, but we're battling here. The sleep schedule's been a little off, Ted, but the Sooners are currently up. Oh, double play.
Got him.
That's big for the recording. That's big for us not looking like idiots right there. So Sooners are winning currently as we're recording the 6-2 in the top of the 8th. Just had a big double play. I'm feeling really good about things because Trevin Michael is on the mound.
Yeah. Did you see the first play of the game?
Yeah.
I think it was the first pitch where first baseman goes flipping into Notre Dame's dugout on that catch.
Awesome.
That was amazing. I thought he was going to break his neck. That's a long fall once you go into the dugout.
Yeah. So when I watch whatever I watch, and I know we're going to talk about it on the podcast, I take notes. And my first note for the OU Notre Dame game is Robertson flipped into the dugout. What the hell was that? It was on. Listen, it is. I appreciate the effort. Where are the Notre Dame guys? Like, can we help? Can we help my man get a softer landing in the dugout, please?
It's like they were almost throwing things under him to make it even worse. Yeah. That was a great catch, though. Great effort. He almost made another one.
Oh, Treadaway with the diving catch to end the Irish's chance in the 8th. Are you is your phone a little behind mine?
Yeah, you're taking all the drama away from it for me. Oh, what a diving catch to in the 8th inning.
Didn't even see it coming. Okay, at this point, we're feeling good. Well, I've got the confidence saying OU has won, it's really big, right? Because now they don't play until Wednesday.
Yeah.
And
that's big. Because what if you can close this out, get to Wednesday, regroup, give all the arms you've used a rest, and it's just I think we talked about this in the Women's College World Series. Being able to, it's not like anyone is stress free, but you win your first two. The nights are a little bit different, right? Whenever you're trying to rest and recover and relax a little bit, it's a little bit different than whenever you're one away from going home and into the season. There's way more anxiety there. So, yeah, you win your first two, they're going to be sitting in a really good spot because, frankly, as I've watched all of the baseball kind of unfold, I mean, I know anything can happen in a given game, but I think that they close this thing out. I think they got a really, really good shot of winning this side of the bracket and going to the final game. I know that's not taking any just wild telling people anything that they don't already know, but it's it's fascinating to find the OU baseball program in this situation right now, to where they look like they're fairly solidly the best on their side of the bracket.
Yeah, and the way that it works with the College World Series is now Texas A&M and Notre Dame will play each other on Tuesday, and OU will get the winner of that game, and they just have to win once. The other team's got to win twice, right? Because it's still double elimination. And then
and
you
it's
go
going to be just the next day too, right? It's on Wednesday.
Yeah, so it's a really good situation. I mean, Skip Johnson's team's in a really good situation, and you look at how they played against Notre Dame, just key hits, aggressive base running, sometimes too aggressive. What was that fourth inning? Okay, can I say something about that now? Okay, I should talk about how clutch Tanner Treadaway was first, right? The kid has been on an absolute tear, right? RBI single, Wallace Clark early, they jump out to the 2-0 lead, but in the fourth, I don't remember a ton from my baseball playing days, but I do remember, hey, you're not supposed to make the first or the third out at third. And OU did both of those things in that inning, which is, it's hard to do. It's hard to do. But Spikerman gets thrown out by a mile to make the third out of the fourth inning. But the ball comes out of the glove of the third baseman. Now, when it comes out of the glove, it hits the third base coach. And instead of telling Spikerman, screaming at him to get on the bag, the third base coach is acting like the ball that just came out of a glove and like had barely any velocity at all, like that it was like a cannonball that went through his entire body. Like, hey man,
go to the ground.
No, it was more of like a hunched over, and it didn't look like it hit him in the nuts, and I don't care if it did or not. Listen, man, you got one job. You eat that, and you tell Spikerman to get his ass back on third base. What are we doing?
So I didn't get to see that play. So did Spikerman just assume he was out, get up, and kind of walk off of the base?
Exactly. He was he was out by so much, dude. I mean, like so far, but he ended up kind of past it in a weird way.
Kind of slid, one of those where he slide over the base.
And he was just standing like 2 or 3 feet from the bag, like thinking he was out. Meanwhile, the ball, we got the third base coach acting like he's dying. He was out by so much. But it was one of those where it happened. I was like, hey man, suck it up and do your job.
I've got to go back and find that play it seems so strange.
It was, but other than giving up that 2-run homer in the 6th, Cade Horton was awesome.
Ooh, he's been throwing really good. That game he had against Virginia Tech was amazing, and to back that up with another really good one in second game of the World Series, really, really impressive.
Yeah, so we are going to assume that Trevin Michael is going to shut the door on Notre Dame here in the 9th. Sooners still batting as we record this in the bottom of the 8th, but there is one last thing we got to talk about when it comes to the Men's College World Series. Have you seen the Jello shots thing?
No, I haven't.
Are you serious?
Yes, I'm serious.
Okay, so there is, I'm guessing the bar is called Rocco's because on the whiteboard it says Rocco's Jello Shot Challenge. And the last update of this Jello Shot Challenge is right here, Ted.
Oh, so they're just keeping a running tally of all the fans from each team, huh?
Correct. And OU with a respectable 262. They're about middle of the pack. Arkansas, on the other hand, 2,793.
Wow.
Ole Miss, 2,544. And they are way out in front of everyone else. I mean, good for them. Now, I will say, I saw one thing because there's a Twitter that's keeping track of this and they're tweeting everything out. I will say one thing. Some people are just giving money to the bar. That should not, like, so the Jello shots are $4.50, which, by the way, is just an absolute ripoff for a Jello shot.
$4.50?
$4.50. $4.50.
Oh my God.
And I will say, I saw on their Twitter, it was like, it was an Ole Miss fan who I guess was like, hey, just put all this money toward the Ole Miss tally. No. That is not how it should work. That's not how it should, like, you should have to consume the Jello shot to get credit for it. Or am I off base there?
No, you're not off base.
Okay, good.
That's over $30,000 so far they've made off of Jello shots.
Oh, and they've made well over that, I bet, by this time.
Oh, yeah.
Well, when you think about it, Arkansas fans almost drank, quick math, at 2,800. Like they've almost drank or consumed $13,000 worth of Jello shots.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's marketing genius, though, to make teams compete with each other about who's going to drink the most Jello shots.
It's brilliant. It is.
They're going to be like, it should have been like with the most expensive drink on the menu, whatever that might be. But the Jello shots is better. That's good.
I think my favorite part of this entire episode is going to be your reaction when I told you they were $4.50.
That is just criminal. A Jello shot, no kidding. You're talking maybe 25 cents in cost going in, and that's at most. Because I'm telling you, it ain't top shelf going into those Jello shots, buddy. Where that's probably like pop off vodka or something in there. That's criminal. But there is some work that goes into it. But whew, man.